welcome to Brit Sticks, Stories Unstrung. I'm back again with JJ Suriano, Terps goalie, Big Ten goalie of the year, and first team All-American, and recently just held her team to lead them to the Final Four for the first time in like forever for Maryland. JJ was our hero. So just to run this down for you guys, Maryland defeated Navy on Thursday 14-10. Navy led early with a 10-9 lead, and it was back and forth until the fourth quarter when Maryland had a 5-0 run that started with JJ's huge save when the game was tied 10-10, led to a fast break goal by LaPointe. We never looked back. So thank you, JJ, for making time.
Of course, I'm excited.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like since you won the game and, what kind of day you're having. I know we talked about having a rest day. What does that look like for an NCAA athlete right now?
Yeah, so after the game, got to celebrate with the parents a little bit. We had a little tailgate after the game, so all my family and friends that were there, I got to talk with them a little bit. After that, we had just to get your stick in your hands kind of practice, nothing too hard. Just got loose, shook out a little bit. Next day, we started some scout, just preparing, and then today we had an off day, so we did some treatment, got that all done. If people wanted to run, wanted to shoot, they could go out and do that, but I think a lot of us needed a rest day after that game that we had.
You guys fought hard mentally and physically. I saw you, we talked last time when you were on, you hyping up your teammates and just being a hype man. I both heard and saw you. I could hear you through the video. It was like you were mic'd up. No, it was great because I know for me as a defender, when I would hear people behind me, it made me much more confident
Mhm.
in my 1v1s, especially up top. So I'm sure that Maddie Sterling and the rest of those girls, as they were fighting for their lives up there, were grateful to
Yeah.
have your voice behind them.
I try.
So, like I said, I had you on after your Big Ten Goalie of the Year announcement and first team All American. And now you've led your team to a quarterfinal win for the first time in a while, and you're headed to the Final Four. I would really love to just know when you think back to that Navy game, what's like the first moment that comes back to you?
Honestly, it was when the final horn blew and we all just ran together. I threw my stick, I chucked it on the ground, and I was just hugging all my teammates. It was just that we're all screaming, smiling, hugging. I mean, there was so much joy on that field after that win. And then after we did the handshakes and all that, we sprinted to the other side of the field, hugged our families, and that was really special. Just being able to celebrate with our parents and our family right after the win.
Is a home win just the best feeling?
Oh my god, nothing better.
I saw so many little ones in the stands, and it
Yeah.
was kids from Annapolis to out of state. What does it mean to you when you see the little ones so like excited for you?
I mean, that's so exciting because I remember being in their shoes, looking up to the players on the field, being like, "Oh my god, they're so cool, they just won." And now to be on the other side of that, I'm like, "Wait, am I cool? Like, is that like, are we cool? Is that what it means?" Um, no.
Definitely, that is what it means.
But I think it's really special for us to have such a big crowd. I think that the crowd that we had, it was a lot of Navy fans, it was a lot of Maryland fans, but to grow the game like that, seeing we had around 2,000 people in the stands, that's a crazy, crazy crowd. So to grow the game like that is huge. And also seeing the little girls with little posters made, I mean, that it makes me so happy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm always like pointing them out in the stands because it's so sweet. And just seeing that all of our hard work on the field is inspiring the next generation is something so special.
Absolutely. I saw a lot of active student section for Navy. I felt like the young ones were pulling for you guys. Do you feel like there was a pretty active student presence from Maryland as well? Maybe I just didn't see on TV.
Yeah, we had a lot of our men's teams show up. They were rowdy, they were obnoxious, they were loud. We love having them at our games. We had some field hockey girls that were there. I know a couple football guys were there. We like to get a lot of the athletes out, supporting athletes, but I'd say a lot of our friends who don't play a sport, they all came out too to support, which is awesome.
So Alyssa Chung came in as one of the best scorers in the country, and she definitely proved it on a lot of those shots. What makes her specifically so hard to prepare for?
She can shoot anywhere. For a lot of people that we scout, they might have a tendency where they might only shoot high, they might only shoot low. Maybe on this look, they want the high shot, they want the low shot. With her, she's shooting wherever, whenever. She could be a step outside the 12, she could be right on top of the crease, doesn't matter. She's a shooter. So trying to get in all those different looks to prepare for was super challenging just because she takes every single look. And credit to her, she's a great player, great athlete. She shoots hard, so it's really hard to replicate that with someone who shoots that powerfully. Um, she's just like I said, she's kind of a loose cannon in a great way. She places her shots really well with a lot of speed. So hard to prepare for someone who's that versatile in their shooting.
Now, she did have 6 goals, but you also had to keep competing against her for all 4 quarters as a goalie. How do you avoid letting a player like that get in your head?
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of said last time we talked, is you take every shot as a piece of information and you take it objectively. The first shot she had on me, it hit off me and went in. And I was like, darn it. But that kind of fired me up a little bit because I'm like, wow, I'm right there. Another one of her shots hit off me and went in again. And I'm like, I'm on it. But then I use that information. She had a bouncer that went in, and then she had a bouncer that I saved. So it's taking that information and knowing that each shot is a new shot, but you're learning from the previous one and then looking to the next one because you got to keep competing no matter what until that final whistle blows.
Yeah. When do you think when someone's that dangerous, are you more studying tendencies in release point, shot placement, body language, or do you think it's more about like trusting your defense and just reacting?
I mean, I trust my defense always, but obviously teams are going to shoot. So I typically look for where they're placing it because at the end of the day, you can read body language, but the ball could go a completely different direction. So it's seeing on 8 meters, do they like to shoot high? I know there was one girl that I scouted on Navy, number 9, who primarily shot my off stick side high. So I scouted that and I knew that. I don't think she got an 8 meter from what I remember. I black out during games, but you're just kind of looking at tendencies, and I like to see where they shoot. Um, I'll typically look at 2 to 3 shooters for a game. If they crease roll, do they like the high shot, the wrap around low shot, just different instances like that.
Was there a point where you kind of felt like, okay, I've seen enough for shots now, like I got this with Alyssa?
I mean, honestly, it's after the first one, I kind of need that first shot to settle into the game, regardless if I save it or not. I like to see that first shot, see how it's coming out, and it kind of settles me into the moment a little bit because now I'm like, all right, I've been part of a play. I'm here. I'm ready to go. So honestly, after the first one, respectfully, I was like, okay, I've seen it. I'm good to go. And then, she got 5 more on me, but I'm still in that mindset, like, I'm good. I got the next one.
Well, I to be clear, the shots that she got in on you, there were plenty of shots she also missed. Like I think
Mhm.
she had 11, 12 shots pretty
Yeah.
quick. So giving you full credit for your efforts there. I also think that there were times just from watching the game where defense didn't do it perfect. They were doing their job, but it wasn't perfect, the exact shot that they maybe should
Yeah.
have set you up for. So looking to as a defender, I remember being like to my goalies, like, all right, like that's on me, you know? And I actually saw you at one point. I think I have it on film. You like went to your defense and I didn't think it was on you, but you were like, no, that's on me. Like I saw you be like, that's on me. And so I
Yeah.
think that's important as players that we take accountability for where we play a part, especially for you goalies. You guys are doing so much to try and keep that ball out of the net. And it's like, oh, thank you for taking some credit for why it went in.
Yeah. Well, I will take credit all day, every day. I think our defenders did really, really well, especially in that second half.
Yeah.
So if they do their job, then it's up to me to do my job. So if they do their job and I don't, I'll take accountability for it. No problem there.
It did seem like there was a shift in the second half, and then that momentum carried you guys into the fourth quarter. Did anything get said or did anything happen at halftime that you think reset you guys?
I have no idea because normally we have our offensive coaches talk and then I go out and get shots at halftime with them and then our defensive coaches talk. So I have no clue what was said in there, but whatever was said lit a fire under our defense. We shut down Alyssa pretty much. We did really, really well in the second half against her. So I don't know what adjustment was made, but it was great. And I was super, super happy about that.
You were just focused on the ball and
Yes.
talking to your team. I get
Yes.
it. One step at a time. So for our young goalies that might be watching, what's the difference in being scored on by a great shooter and actually like getting beaten when you shouldn't?
Yeah, I think also what I talked about last time is going through that checklist. It was I set? Were my feet planted? Was I balanced? Was I in a good position? Did I see the ball? Was I focused on the ball or was I focused on anything else? And did I move at the point of release? Did I move too late? Did I move too early? And there are times I will give Alyssa Chung credit. I checked all three of those boxes. Phenomenal shot. Then there are times where there was a low angle one that snuck by me and I just wasn't in the right position for that. Then that one, all right, I got beat on that one. I know I can make an adjustment, so I'm going to make the change. So there's times when you can go through that checklist, and if one of those things isn't checked off, then you don't necessarily have to be like, oh, I got beat, but now you're like, all right, I know how to improve on this next shot.
So I'd love to talk about the turning point in the game
Mhm.
because in the fourth quarter, again, that save, Navy had gone up 10-9, and you make the stop, the clear, LaPointe scores to tie the game, win the next draw. I don't think you even lost a draw. I can check the stats, but I don't
Mm-mm.
think you guys lost another draw the rest of the game, and you scored 5-0. And the energy just changes. What do you remember about that possession? And was there a point before the game ended where you were like, oh yeah, we're winning this game? Like at what point did that happen?
I know that at one point there was a Keeley block. Keeley block scored
Mhm.
and they played Freebird. And I just remember like dancing to that with my teammates. And I think, I don't know when it was, but we were either down by one or up by one. And I think that was a turning point because we were all kind of like, we're rallying, we're clicking, this looks good. And I just remember I felt much calmer because I knew that we were in control in that moment. Yeah, and then Kayla Gilmore winning all the draws was huge. I mean, that's a huge momentum shifter. Um, I don't know. I just feel like in that moment, after Lauren scored to tie it, and then I think we got the next goal, I felt like we were in control from the rest of the game. And I don't really think they scored after that. I
Mhm.
want to say there was a long stretch in the fourth quarter where they didn't score. So our defense was locked in, our offense was firing, and we were just in control.
Yeah, I mean, they say that if you look at the stats, whoever wins the draws wins the game. I think that was pretty evident in that moment. As Navy earlier in the game did control a lot of those draws.
Totally.
So it was a total momentum shift. So when you make a save like that in a one goal game, do you feel everything shift immediately, or are you so locked in that you don't actually process it till later?
I don't process it till later. Like, to be quite honest, when you say game changing moment, I didn't even know what save you were talking about just because I'm like, we're still down. We still have work to do. Game's not over. I am not calm and relaxed until basically until the end of the whistle. I said I felt more relaxed once we got control of the game, but I'm still a little on edge. Um, no, I just feel like I stay dialed in until the final whistle blows, just because anything can happen.
So on that shot, did you get a clean look? Was it screened? Was it something you had prepared for or read? Like what did that save come down to for you? Or was it pure reaction?
Was it off of a cut? Was it a feed?
I can go back and find the film. See,
I don't know what it
but this is
was.
the point. This is the point that you
Yeah,
don't. I'm like that too. Like I can't remember certain huge plays, like whatever. I remember cheering with my team. I
yeah,
remember dancing, all that kind of stuff. It's good. I just wanted to like pick that apart because
yeah,
truly, like I
yeah.
want you to think about this to outsiders, that save is the same as scoring a game winning goal and
Mhm.
trying to understand what did that feel like for that athlete. And a lot of times you're just doing. There
Yeah.
is no thought, and your training has it's made your training part of your muscle memory.
Mhm.
So it's really cool to see. I think that as an alum, I might have been that little shake and bake dodge to cage, but
Yeah,
I remember messaging you on Instagram and I was like, there's 7 minutes left in the game and I know you're going to win. Like, we have to talk again. So
yeah.
it definitely was a crazy momentum shift in such a short frame of time, which is why lacrosse is amazing.
So fun. Yeah, I
Uh,
think it was all instincts and just trusting my intuition. Like, all right, just go.
as a goalie, how do you balance being emotional enough to lead, but calm enough to make the next save?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you have to stay calm in the moment because when I'm frantic and when I feel the nerves, I'm very jumpy. I'm not set. I'm going too early. I'm second guessing myself. So you have to find the right amount of calm where you're present in the moment. You're focused on literally just the ball. You see everything out of your peripheral, but you're focused on that ball, but then also being hype enough to be able to be like, Maddie, great 1v1 defense, keep that up, love to see it. Or, hey, we got to be better at this. Let's figure it out together. You have to, like I said, stay objective and not let the emotions take over, but you do have to have enough of a fire underneath you to be able to lead your team, bring some energy when it's needed, whether it's good energy or you're like, hey, let's get it together. Because there were times when I'm like, hey, I got to get it together too. Let's all figure this out and get it together because this isn't Terps lacrosse. There have been multiple times this season where I'm like, hey, we, including myself, got to do better right now. And sometimes it's, being assertive and being a little bit aggressive in that moment, but it brings out that hype intensity. On top of that, you got to stay calm. So it's really hard to find the balance, and not one game is perfect. Some moments my emotions might get too high and then I have to bring myself back down a peg, or I'm a little bit too calm, got to get myself up a little bit more. So it's really a fine balance every play.
So it reminded me of something I learned while at Maryland called identifying your hype number. Have you heard that term?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So your hype number, the way that it was posed to us is think about your best performance as an athlete. What level of energy, what did your pregame look like, right? And then your actual hype during the game, what did that look like in your best performances? And that was when I first identified that I was actually like a two,
Mm.
because my best games were when I sat and read my Bible and listened to calm music rather than hype music. And so I started to have to leave our crazy locker room because it was like so fun and amazing, but it was getting
Yeah.
me too hyper to where I was going for checks. I wasn't sitting and reading hips. And so I really had to get control of myself, very similar in my opinion to what you're talking about with sitting and waiting and being patient before, making, like, waiting for the offense to make that move. So I'm just curious, could you tell us about, like, maybe your best, like, if you were to have to identify the story of your hype number, what best performance in your career comes to mind? It could be from youth level. It doesn't have, it's like the best game you've ever had. And what hype before, after, what does that look like for you, with one being low, 10 being high?
Yeah. Well, I feel like my best performance was last year in the Big Ten championship, but I literally can't remember what was happening there. So I'm going to go with Syracuse this year. It was our first game of the season. So had some nerves, but also tried to dance around, get moving. I got to stay moving or else the nerves attack. Like there's like a saying, like anxiety can't hit a moving target. So you got to stay moving. um, I would say pregame, I was an 8. During warm-ups, I'm about a 5 or a 6 because I start to lock in a little bit, but I'm still dancing, still getting hype, still screaming, but start to tone it down a little bit, focus more on myself. And then in game, I try to stay very level. So I'd say a 5, but then when something really awesome happens, we bump up to an 8 for that split second, but then we go right back down to a 5.
Okay, so you're a solid five if we're looking at our averages. When you get up to that eight, we had talked about some physical triggers that you used in the last time that we spoke. Is that how you're coming back down from an eight to a five? How do you control that? Or if you start to feel a little low, what are you doing to hype yourself back up? Like, how do you stay at a five?
Yeah, it's a lot of reminding myself, job's not done. Let's get back. I love breathing. Just one big deep breath is all that I kind of need to reset during a play. Like maybe I'll tip the ball and it'll go wide, but they back it up. So heck yeah, I just made that save. I'm excited. All right, they still have possession. They have a new shot clock. Let's get back down to 5 so that we're even. We're commanding the defense. We're focused on the task at hand. And then before every single draw, I say my mantra to myself in my head. I do my clicking the pipes, jump up and down, whatever. And I just get set. And I
Does
think
that only get you hype, or does that also bring you down? Is
both.
it cool? Okay.
I think both. It takes me back to where I need to be, where, like you said, like I might have just had a save. We go down and score. Awesome. All right. The next play is about to happen. So you got to get back. to level, and then maybe I just got scored on, not too thrilled about it. Once or twice a game, I'll take a jog around the crease, walk back in. And so that is kind of like a reset. Like, all right, I'm starting the game again. I'm walking back into the crease for the first time. We're starting again. Nothing else in the past matters. Back to this moment. And I think having those physical resets and getting you to your hype level, hype number, I really like that a lot. I think that's really important to keep you in the zone, because if you're too high, you're not focused. If you're too low, you're not focused. So finding what works for you is super important.
Absolutely. I was just thinking, student athlete, student comes first. For you, if you go through these ups and downs in school, how do you keep yourself kind of centered? Like you can't hit the pipes. I guess you could take a lap, but
Yeah.
what are some ways that you could apply that same mentality to your school journey?
Yeah, there are times when it feels like I have no assignments to do, and I'm like, "Oh, great." So I might get ahead on some work or start studying for something in advance. That's taking me from low to, or taking me, I guess, from high. I'm excited I don't have anything, but let's get ahead on stuff, because during lacrosse season it gets a little hectic. If I'm feeling super overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, I like to split it up into little tasks. I'll do a big task and two little tasks, or I'll just kind of make a checklist, go through it, and that puts everything kind of into perspective. I like having everything laid out in front of me, just calms me a little bit more, being able to see everything I have to do. So just getting back to middle ground, find ways to not be too lazy and you're not busy enough versus too busy, too overwhelmed. Split it up into smaller tasks.
So if you have like a bad test or a bad grade, or you get a really good grade, so you're feeling confident, like what are you doing to kind of center yourself so that you don't get too caught between the two?
I would say if I get a really good grade, I go back and see what I did well. Did I study well? Did I prepare well? Feel good about it? Great. I'll do that again. If I had an exam go not so well, did I study enough? Did I prepare enough? Did I use my resources? We have tutors that we are able to set up and use. So if I ever am struggling, definitely need to kind of look back and reflect. Did I do everything to the best of my ability? If not, make that change so that the next time I'm more prepared. And then when I do well, just seeing what worked, repeating it, and preparing the same amount instead of feeling too cocky or confident. Like, oh, I did well in this last one, I'm going to do well in the next one. Bring it back down. It's new material. We got to lock in again.
So this is Maryland's first semifinal appearance since 2022 and the program's 29th Final Four. Do you feel the history of Maryland lacrosse and a momentum like this, or do you try to like block it out?
I mean, it is kind of, I mean, Maryland's a powerhouse of a school. And I think the legacy of all the past classes, all the past years of Terps dominance is kind of riding with us, because we're just like, wow, we're back where Maryland should be always. We've had a little bit of a drought, which isn't the norm, which is crazy to say. Like, not a lot of schools can say that isn't the norm. So to be back is really, really exciting. And I think that we have a lot to prove, that Maryland's back and better than ever. We're excited. And, we have the legacy of all the phenomenal athletes behind us and supporting us. And that momentum of that is carrying us through. And we're just really excited to get out there and play Terps lacrosse and, finish the job that we set out to do.
What do you think this team proved in the fourth quarter?
That we never give up. We are a gritty, gritty team. And I said in a post-game interview, I said, this is the hungriest team that I've ever been a part of. I think that Kathy always says, our backs are against the wall, but we found a way, and we used each other. We leaned on each other. The energy was there, but we never gave up. We were gritty. We did, I think we relied on our preparation. We are so prepared. We are so battle tested. Being in the Big Ten, you play the best competition every single week. And Kathy always says, we're so battle tested for it. And I think that we proved that we're battle tested. We deserve to be there. We're back. Like, we're back.
Definitely. You're definitely back. And I just as some encouragement, my sophomore year I transferred in and all the starters were juniors and sophomores except for one, and Maryland hadn't been to the Final Four in like 6 years. And so obviously no one on our team had ever been to the Final Four. And it
Mhm.
was at Towson. So it was insanely loud. And we lost to UNC by one in that game. And I remember being like, man, like we weren't prepared for like the energy of this, right? And then my junior year, we were all, seniors and juniors, and that's when we won and we're able to pull that off. And that kind of kicked off in 2010, Kathy's first championship and that
Yeah.
legacy. And I definitely remember watching you guys in the Hopkins game and seeing kind of some of that magic come through in the Big Ten semis. And watching you guys the other day pull that off in the fourth quarter was just very, very reminiscent of that young, gritty, get it done kind of team. And Kathy was always telling us, like, enjoy the process and focus on the 6 inches in front of you. Right. And so it sounds like you guys kind of have embodied that same mentality. Um, I think that if I could impart something on the next generation of you guys, it would be to just make sure that you aren't so hard on yourself in like the
Mhm.
moments where it's not perfect and the games where they don't like turn out the way you want to. Like I know the Big Ten championship this year like wasn't what you guys wanted, but those moments need to be like the fuel that's like I never want to feel this way again.
Totally.
And that's what makes you like fight hard rather than being like, oh, I can't believe they beat us, like whatever. That's how you have to get past those kind of games. Do you think for your team that there's any, like obviously there's not fear of other teams, but are there any teams that when you play them it's a little bit more intense? Like at Northwestern consistently for Maryland is an intense matchup.
Yeah, I think it's the level of excitement. I think that the Big Ten this year was so competitive that it was kind of every Big Ten game we played, we were like, let's freaking go. Like, this is going to be exciting. But I think historically, Northwestern is always going to be one of those games for us just because there's such a long history. And it's, I guess, our rivalry game. We love it. We embrace the challenge. We know it's going to be a great matchup, a competitive matchup every single time. But I think that fuels us more. So having lost to them in the Big Ten championship, I think that fueled us a lot because we knew that we had it in us to pull out the win, but we just fell short. Whether it be one play, whether it be our attitude, it came down to one thing. But I think at the end of the day, we were so hungry for that win and we battled so hard. I think we were down 6-2 at one point, and we battled it back to go to overtime. And I think that, yeah, we lost that game, but we were really, really proud of it instead of being, we were obviously upset, but I think we had more pride in ourselves after that loss. And that is kind of what's been fueling us through the NCAA tournament in the way that we know what we're capable of. Now we got to stop saying what we're capable of and we got to do it. And I think that's what's been driving us through this tournament thus far.
Absolutely. Do you think that there's any sort of rivalry with UNC or any like for me when I think of like the teams that back in the day we were in ACCs and there was three ACC teams in the Final Four. So this is very reminiscent. It's just like the Big Ten has kind of become the ACC of the
Yeah.
mid 2000s. So just curious heading into this UNC game, is there any sort of rivalry feelings or is this just another game for this generation of Terps?
Yeah, I think also historically it's been a rivalry. I feel like it's always UNC and Maryland in the Final Four, if not the championship. But I don't think any of us have on the team have played UNC regular season ever. I mean we scrimmaged some last fall, but I don't think they've been on our schedule for a while for all the girls that are currently on the team. So for us, we haven't seen them. It's not necessarily a rivalry for us, but we
Nameless,
know it's a
faceless opponent.
yeah, but we know it's a rivalry for the program. But I also think that puts a chip on our shoulder. Like, we honestly have nothing to lose. Like, yes, we have a lot to lose, but also we have nothing to lose at the same time. So it's that balance. And I think that just makes us really excited because they haven't seen us. We haven't seen them. Like, let's just battle it out. Let's have a time.
Absolutely. I loved playing them back in the day because I felt like we played similarly,
Yeah.
at least, and I kind of think that still reigns true since both coaches are still the same. Um, Curious if there's anything in particular that you've been preparing for. Is Chloe Humphrey as big a concern as Alyssa Chung was, or is it a little bit more spread out in terms of the scouting report?
So far, we haven't done a whole lot of scouting. We're gonna tackle that tomorrow and the rest of the week. Um, I'd say for me personally, I can only control what I can control. I think Kennis is a phenomenal coach. She scouts really well, so she will get our defense right. She'll get the matchups right. She will get us doing what we have to do. But I think for me, it's going to be trusting my instinct a lot. I think Chloe Humphrey is a great shooter, but I can't guess or I can't go too early. It's going to be a lot of trusting my instincts and trusting what I've done all season and sticking with it because, it's worked so far. So don't have to change anything too big. Just prepare for everything, expect everything, prepare for everything, and then just be
Play, Ma-
present. Be
Play
present when the
Maryland
time hits.
lacrosse.
Play lacrosse.
Play
Literally just
Maryland
play lacrosse.
lacrosse.
That's it.
So, did you get a chance to watch that WLL game yesterday between New York Charging and Boston?
I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing Shea Dolce
Yeah.
in there like 8 days after her collegiate career ended.
But
Yeah,
also, if that could be me, that would be me. So
it's gonna be
I
you.
will never put my stick down. So
I, I love to hear it. Do you have aspirations to coach after you graduate at all?
I think so. I'm not sure right now. I don't know what my future holds, but I think coaching would be really, really fun, and I would really enjoy it.
Have you ever coached like at the youth level or done private lessons or anything like that?
Yeah, I do private lessons. I've coached a little bit of club, and I work for Goalie Smith too. So I've done a lot of coaching with them, which has been really, really fun.
So, are you going to any? I know kids can then book you through Goalie Smith or reach out to you. Do you have any summer camp plans or anything like that where people could catch you?
Yeah, so Goalie Smith is going to do a ton of camps this summer. Registration is open. You might have to jump on a wait list for that, but really, really fun camps. We go from elementary all the way to college. Maryland camp, that's always fun. Got like 3 days together, so I'll be coaching some of those. Other than that, I'm probably just going to do some private lessons locally in Baltimore and see how much I can fit in because I do really enjoy coaching and getting to meet younger goalies. So definitely want to do a bunch of that this summer.
What does your summer look like? Whether you win the championship or not, how long are you taking a break afterwards? What does that kind of look like leading into your fall semester?
Yeah, so Goalie Smith is my first day with them is going to be June 2nd, and then we end beginning of August. So after the tournament, we'll come back, hang out as a team for the last week, say goodbyes, move out if we need to, and then I'll definitely put my stick down for a little bit just to let my body recover. And then after that, I'll get shots all the time. I mean, when you work at Goalie Smith, it's easy to get shots all the time. Just
Is your
work out.
dad still shooting on you in your backyard? Do you still have that turf back there?
I do still have the turf back there. I mostly use it to tan on it now. So the shooting has gotten a little bit more advanced than what my father can throw at me, but not opposed to it. No, but
Not
it's
your
just
primary training anymore, though.
no, not anymore. But no, I have a bunch of friends local. We'll go to a field, shoot, run, we'll lift, just prepare, and then I'll have 3 weeks between when classes start and the end of work. So have some more time to chill a little bit, see family, see friends, and then back at it.
Are you playing in the Ocean City tournament or doing any of
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Oh yeah, of
Very
course.
fun. I'm sure you pull home the championship for that. Do you plan to? I haven't looked into the Olympic schedule, how they're doing tryouts, all that kind of stuff. But the next opportunity to try out for the U.S. team before the Olympics, are you going to throw your name in?
I mean, if I can, I would love to.
Okay.
Absolutely. I
We'll
have to.
submit this as your formal
It's just
submission.
USA lacrosse, please, please,
Please consider JJ Suriano
please.
for Olympics 2028.
I would love that.
Okay, well, I'm going to call it now, and hopefully, I'm seeing you there. What would lacrosse being in the Olympics, you having the opportunity to be a part of that team, what would that mean to you?
Ooh, that would just be. Huge for the sport. I mean, lacrosse used to be in the Olympics, took a long, long pause, and now that it's back, seeing this sport grow and affect so many people in a positive way has been awesome. I think the community has grown so much and the support in the community has grown. And, I'm going to have friends who are going to be going to the Olympics and teammates who are going to the Olympics. And that's going to be so cool to see them on that stage and be like, I used to play with them. I know them. Um, I mean, that's a dream. You
That's what I
dream.
want to be saying about you, okay?
Like,
To
I
be
mean,
clear.
that's the dream, and I think it would be kind of a culmination of all the hard work that I have put in and all the people around me have put in and all the people before us have put in. And I think it's going to be really, really special to see all the work that's been put into the sport kind of finally happen. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, I was like maybe 9 or 10 years old when the 99ers
Mhm.
won the championship for soccer, the World Cup for soccer, for those
Yeah,
that don't know, or gold cup medal or whatever it was. All I know is that they won. And I was so inspired. I immediately went out and started juggling in the yard because I was like, I'm going to be them one day and I want to
yeah.
play for my country. And I remember thinking that, and I was not good at soccer in that way. So lacrosse was the only path. But I'm just curious for you, well, were you a lot? How old were you when the 99ers came through? Like, were there any moments where like you got pumped up about playing for Team USA when you were young?
I think when they started the development team program, I did that when I was 15 years old. And I realized, hey, this is pretty cool. I have some version of the red, white, and blue across my chest. That's a pretty cool feeling. And then I was on the U20 training team, and that was such a surreal experience. I got cut final round, but that was such a cool experience. And being able to represent red, white, and blue, even for a little bit, not even on the final stage, but to be part of that process was super, super cool. So I'd hope to be able to do that on the, biggest athletic stage in the whole world.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we are cheering for you. Tell the people when your game is, how they can support you, and all that.
Yeah, we are Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can either come to Chicago if you can't do that. I believe it is going to be on ESPNU to stream. So definitely tune in, even if you don't watch, turn the game on, help give it some views to help keep growing women's lacrosse.
Totally. And then fingers crossed for the championship. That'll be on Sunday,
Yes,
right?
on ESPN.
On ESPN. Let's go.
The
Well,
big leagues.
listen, I'm so pumped that you guys made it to the Final Four. I'm so pumped that you were such an integral aspect of the process to get you guys there. And I just really appreciate your time. And I'm so excited to see what you do. I'll be cheering you on from Africa. So
Love it.
we'll see that whole thing transpire from a whole nother continent, and kind of expose the game to some people that maybe wouldn't have the chance to watch you guys. So hopefully
Yeah,
we'll have some new Terps fans for the next time
perfect.
around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck. Enjoy your week. And thank you so much.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Bye.
Bye.